Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
What's up?
Hey,
What's
on
up?
target. Hey, on target. Hey, Dustin, how you doing over there? How you doing over there?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Yeah,
How
I'm
you
doing pretty
doing?
good.
Yeah,
man.
I'm
This
doing
is,
pretty good, man.
A new
This is,
venture here.
a new venture
here. We are trying something new here. We're virtually talking to each other, and we're talking to YouTube, I think, and Facebook at the same time. So if you're on watching live with us, give us a comment. Let us know if you can hear it. So
Yeah. Definitely. We appreciate all feedback, and we just want to have a good time with you guys talking about Star Wars or all things. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we can talk about it.
whatever you want to talk about. Unfortunately, Nick couldn't be with us tonight, but he's with us in spirit, and
Yes.
I'm sure he's laughing along with us this whole time. So he usually
Or at us.
or he's probably laughing at us.
He's probably
Yeah.
laughing at us.
Yeah, he brings the comedy, and now he's laughing at us because we're not
Comedy
fun.
gold.
Comedy
What?
gold. So we're doing the Zoom thing, and we're just talking on top of each other because there's like a half-second lag. So we're like, what? You go, I go.
Sorry about that.
No, but it's the fun. That's the most fun part about it. That's the comedy.
That's like every YouTuber right now ever. Like everybody's doing this.
Exactly. It's the only
Not even
option.
YouTube, it's like TV.
Yeah. Professional interviews, professional, news reports are this way because people are reporting from their houses. So thankfully, I've got.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, thankfully, I've got the studio here, and you've got your homemade studio there, dude. It's awesome.
If you could see the setup I got here, it is so ghetto, but it works.
It looks good from here. I can tell you that much. So let me just do a couple of checks and see if anybody can see and hear us. On there's some crazy reverb. Okay, that went away. So yeah, there's a bunch of buttons on here that I could probably press and mess things up really quickly. So as engineering this thing, I'm trying to make sure everything's working good. But it looks like I think that's things are live. Things are looking good on YouTube and Facebook and comments and all that stuff. Yeah, please bring them in. If you have any questions, we're going to be talking about mostly episode 7 of, what is this, season 7? So are we 7 and 7?
7 and 7.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to be talking.
Episode 7.
Yeah, episode 7 of season 7. Dangerous Debt, I believe, is the title of this one.
Oh yeah, Dangerous Debt. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And how are you guys doing? And girls, quarantine, we're doing the right thing. We're staying hunkered down here, even in stay on target land. But we're humans as well. So even though we virtually talk to
We're
you,
staying.
Yes, exactly. We're focusing on the stay part.
Yeah, and stay on target.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not moving around. We're not sitting next to each other even. And thankfully, we're all healthy. Nick's healthy. And we'll be back soon. We just got to figure out how to get him to Zoom in with us. So technology barriers. But hey, everybody's...
when you live on Hoth.
That's true. Yeah. Nick is on Hoth. And
you don't get great signal on Hoth.
It's true. It's hard for him to get good service when he's in Hoth. Yeah, Hoth's it's a tough place, man. They need to get out there with some new towers or something and get him so he can Skype in. He should have just hopped on his Wampa and rode over.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or
what was he thinking?
Ride on a Wampa? What's the things they ride on in
Yeah, he said a wampa. That'd be pretty crazy if you had a pet wampa that he could ride on.
A
That would
big
be
giant,
intimidating.
a big giant Eddie.
Tauntaun.
Tauntaun, yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, you guys got Tauntaun? I got a wampa. He's
got
just
a-
like sitting on its shoulders.
Yeah. Check out this wampa I got for my new ride. I upgraded from a Tauntaun.
To a wampa.
There's like
His
two.
wampa just like kills the Tauntaun.
It's like a sleigh in the snow, and there's like two wampas in the front. So it's like a horse-drawn sleigh with wampas.
That'd be crazy.
Forget Tauntauns. We're going all in.
You need to like animate this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a picture and make a graphic for sure. So,
Yeah. Awesome.
oh my goodness, this is insane. Yeah, I'm excited to see that graphic actually. So,
Yeah.
oh man, I think we're live on Facebook here. My thing's not updating, so my fact checker, our fact checker is checking facts for us tonight still.
Fact checker.
And I believe she will let us know if something is awry. So we're trying something new here. We pre-recorded the one we posted last week, episode 21, and leading into this week, we said, "Hey, I think I figured out how to do it live," and we did a test, and here we are doing the real thing, and kind of scrambling at the last second, but yeah, but things coming along good for you, Dustin?
Oh yeah, things coming along good. Mostly quarantined. I mean, my job is essential, so I got to go to work every day still. So not much has changed.
Yeah,
Like
true.
I said in the last video, I bought a house and we've been renovating it. So it's been pretty nonstop with all of that lately.
Yeah.
So that's why things are last minute too, because I'm like running over from that house and then getting this ready and then going live, which I'm super pumped. We haven't been able to talk Star Wars too much lately.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
missed getting together, of course,
I
but
know.
this is the next best thing. It's the next best thing.
It's the next best thing. We all just communicate virtually, digitally now, and
Yeah.
in some ways it's easier because you don't have to smell nice. But
Exactly. I haven't
only
showered in days.
yeah,
No, I'm just
weeks and
joking.
months. I only talk to people digitally. Oh wait, you go to work, so you got to do it.
Yeah, I got to shower. I'm just joking. I
Yeah.
do have people do smell me. Not a ton because they put our place
It's true.
pretty much on lockdown for the most part too. But
Yeah, even job sites and places are limiting. Obviously, still social distancing is in place, and making sure everybody's healthy and all that jazz. So
yeah, exactly.
But it's a strange world we lived in when we started this YouTube talking about Star Wars 364 months ago. 364 months ago. No, we didn't know what to expect, and so we just
No.
did it, and now here we are finding ourselves talking to you again on YouTube in a quarantine environment because the world's changed a little bit in the last couple of weeks. But we're really hoping in the next month, 3 weeks, month, whatever they tell us to do, we'll be able to go back out and
Oh,
we can meet again. Yeah, you think so?
I was trying to relate it to any like movies or anything, but I can't think of any right now except for I can't remember.
I'm getting a little breakup, a little bit on your audio there, Dustin. But yeah, it's
Yeah, my internet just said it's unstable.
so see, here we are in the virtual world. We're relying on some wire somewhere still. So yeah, I hope the wire.
Right.
I hope the wire doesn't have the virus. Can wires get viruses?
Oh, yes, I don't know.
Quote of the night.
Maybe.
Quote of the night. Question. Quote of the night.
Quote of the
Can
night.
viruses?
Can wires get viruses?
It's a virus.
Can
All
you
right.
hear me? Can you hear me okay
Yeah,
still?
I can hear you. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, whatever you did,
Okay.
move the antenna over here. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I literally just moved my computer like a half an inch.
That's
I'm
it.
hoping it works.
It was that half an inch. Well, you probably shouldn't have had it by that nuclear reactor. Maybe that was causing interference.
Well, I live next to a 5G tower, so
Yeah, that might do it.
I'm being irradiated all the time.
Yeah. Hopefully your new house doesn't have all those problems.
Right? Exactly.
I'm just
Cool.
kidding.
Looks
Well,
like we got some comments on.
Oh, we
the
got some
YouTube.
comments on the Utes. Yeah, we got Alisan says, yeah, hey guys. Hey Alisan. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for
watching.
tuning in.
And Zarhimoto, fact checker. Yes. Fact checker's going to check some facts tonight because we've only seen the episode one time, and it was a big episode. And then Carla says, "Hello, gentlemen." Yes, we are gentlemen. What wouldn't you say, Dustin?
Yes,
Mostly gentle,
as much as we can be.
as much as we can be, except when you're
And technically, we're men.
and technically we're men. Yes. Yeah, man, this is insane. Yeah, but we are definitely gentle, and we're definitely men. So let's go on with this thing. We got a quote: "Can wires get viruses?" on the YouTube chat. So I think they can. I think they can, and that's part of the problem. But here we are, episode number 7,
What'd you say?
season 7.
You're like,
What's that?
you say virus wires? Vibra wires?
Vira wires. Yes, exactly. Oh my
It's hard to
goodness.
say.
It's a tongue twister. This is how crazy we are. We've been in quarantine now for a week
Yes.
or two, and we're viruses. Oh man, this is. I can't wait to see our show. I can't wait to see our show in 3 weeks. We'll be like. It reminds me of Rocket Man, that scene when he's on the space shuttle. If you guys have seen Rocket Man, and our sister posted it, and I should pull up the screenshot. And he's been on the ship. They're going to Mars for like 2 days, and his hair's down to here, and he's like, "There's a revolt on the ship," as if that was possible.
No, it's like 3 months.
Oh, I lost you there, Dustin. Uh oh, can you guys hear Dustin? His network is unstable, so let's give him a second to come back. This is the kind of fun that you get. You never know what to expect here on Stay on Target. We're off target, and we're not even together. Oh, there he is. He's back.
What's up?
Hey.
Sorry. I have high speed internet, so I don't know why it's being goofy on us.
You're high speed, man. Did you get my message I sent you?
Yeah, I did. I got it.
All right. Cool. Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome right there. So, yeah, well, let's jump into the episode because technically we have so much of a limit, I believe, on this live thing. So let's go ahead and chit chat for a few minutes now that we've managed to catch up on all the insanity of this world and talk about some Star Wars. What'd you think of the episode?
Yeah. Can everybody still see me and hear me?
I can. Yeah, you cut out there for a minute, but you're back. So
okay, but I'm back. Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
I really liked the episode. I thought it was good. Non spoilers, right? We're in non-spoiler territory.
That's non-spoiler. Yep.
All right. As a whole, I thought I don't want to spoil anything. As a whole, I thought you learned some really good stuff in this episode. I think it's kind of almost somewhat what the arc gets to the point of Ahsoka seeing a different side of the galaxy, especially not being within the Jedi Order. So I think that was a really good point they needed to touch on because otherwise it kind of would have felt like it was kind of dragging on and it was just an off adventure.
Yes.
We kind of needed to see this growth and arc to understand what's going on. Once you see the episode, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I thought they did it in a tasteful way. I thought it made sense, and you could understand where everybody was coming from with what happened. Again, I don't want to spoil it, but there's some good action. It was kind of funny, kind of silly still in some ways. And then there was the surprise I didn't really see coming. I think it's going to tie into the bigger picture, though.
Yep.
With the surprise, and then other than that, the whole episode kind of just did. We started at one spot and we went all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
In some ways,
in some ways,
the episode, you're kind of like, well, we're back to square one.
It was
at least locationally, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then, but we learned a lot along the way.
We learned a lot along the way. It was a very British episode.
Yes.
No, not really. But no, it was like a circular episode in a way.
Yeah.
And so it was. You're right. I didn't even think about the ending being like the beginning. But if you know how episode 6 ended, without spoiling it, they were kind of in a predicament. And right now we're kind of on Ahsoka's train, so we're following her path. Ending or coming off of what happened in season 6, and so it's very interesting because Ahsoka is with these two ladies, and they get themselves into some trouble. Which, hey, what else are they gonna do? But it's definitely interesting, and I thought it was actually pretty high stakes. I mean, in a way, it was pretty epic. I was just
Yeah.
watching it before we came on to this live stream, and it was intense. I mean, it felt like an intense, very high action, getaway kind of, on the run episode. Not unlike a lot of the better episodes in the first 6 seasons of Clone Wars. So
Yeah. Yeah. It fits so well within this Clone Wars in general. Like the season, other than I think looking better than the older seasons, I think just fits right in. I mean, I'm just like, this is just like watching Clone Wars in the old days,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it really seamless. They do a great job with the action and how they do it. It's just got its own feel to it, but it's still
Yeah,
very much in the Star Wars universe, and I really like that.
exactly. Yeah, very much so. It was one of my favorite. I think it was actually my favorite episode so far. I really actually want to go watch the whole thing again because it was that
Yeah,
entertaining. And there was a lot. There were some nuggets.
yeah.
There were some emotional moments, and there were some action nuggets, and like you said, something that might hint to the bigger picture, and some things that I have questions for you about actually, because I wasn't sure if that tied into this or that. But here in a second, we'll jump into the spoilers. But does anybody? I don't know if
Oh,
anybody on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions. I haven't seen many questions yet on the streams, so I'm assuming that everybody is up to speed. And they'll if they don't watch it live with us because they probably don't realize we even have the power to do this live. And I didn't promote it very well on the Book of Face, but yeah, once people catch up, I'm sure maybe there'll be questions and stuff. But you want to jump into a spoiler
Yeah.
section?
Well, and if anybody has any questions unrelated, any questions at all, we will stop and chat. Did you lose
Yes.
me there again?
Yeah, I lost you for just a split second, but we heard if
Okay.
anybody has any questions.
I sounded like one of the characters in this
In the
week's episode.
I know. I wasn't watching at that exact second, and I'm like, what? Who was that? Goat man.
I know it's a certain species.
Yeah.
Maybe fact checker gonna let us out, but they sound like goat
Yeah.
people. Oh man, I know the species. I can't
Yeah. They do.
remember it off the top of my
It
head.
sounded
Man,
like
I
a
can't remember.
yeah. It sounded like a goat-ish talking, kind of like you
Yeah.
just did there. Hello.
No,
Reminds me
they're
of
over there.
reminds me of Babe. Bah ram you. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
And then
I
all the
wonder if that's where they got it from.
it could have been that, although those were sheep, but it's kind of the similar. I guess sheep and goats they talk similar enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So weird.
yeah, it was kind of weird, but yeah, it was a good episode and fun to watch with all the craziness going on. Something good to tune into and get some entertainment value out of. I'm glad they're still
Yeah,
releasing them week to week, and they didn't take a break. We were wondering if they would take a break after episode 6.
yeah. Right, because this would have fallen in like technically this would have been a lot of people's spring breaks, right? Right.
I think so. Yeah. I
So
mean,
we thought maybe they would have done a break now because it's almost a
it
mid
would have
season time.
exactly been spring break. You're right. At least here it would
Yeah.
have. Yep.
Okay, Gran, our fact checker, is pulling through as always. Man, that fact checker is on the ball.
checker.
Gran is the type of species,
A gran. Okay, that's interesting.
like the goat-like people.
Ha ha.
Wow. Thank you, fact checker. You rock.
Thank you, fact checker. Brilliant work as ever. We're gonna have
As
to
always.
consider boosting the pay of the fact checker after all this.
Oh yeah,
You know,
for sure.
we've
After all
obviously
this said and done, we
we,
make it through this,
I know.
which we
Hey,
will.
hey, yeah. I mean, thankfully, we've been able to continue on with this. We run a pretty lean ship here at Stay on Target.
Yeah, we
There's
do.
not a lot of overhead except for this
Oh,
light
and
right here.
yeah. Like I was gonna say though, it's like the one time that we're on the same playing field for the most part as pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, right. Like,
Because
hey,
everybody's been doing this kind of content.
exactly. They thought we were crazy 6 months ago when we started doing this, and look at me now.
Now look at us. We're just as good as the rest of
Oh,
them.
man. Now we're teaching them how to look like goofballs on a camera.
Oh,
Oh
goodness.
man, yeah, you sounded like a goat there a minute. You're like, wait up.
Well, when I sound like a goat, just call me a gran.
He's a Gran. He's Dustin Gran.
I'm a gran.
Oh, quarantine.
Makes you think
Oh.
of 100 grand. Kind of want a chocolate bar or something.
Yeah, chocolate bar. Yeah, can you get those anymore? Are they still making them?
Well, not now. I'm just joking.
You're like, not now. It's too funny. And you never know when it's gonna happen, so it's so funny. On my end, at least I think what I'm hearing is what the viewers are hearing. But
They're probably not. They're probably not at all.
Probably it's probably me that's weird.
We're just sounding like even.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, but because when it happens, I try to part of the technology, the learning curve, which I'm glad we're doing it tonight. But yeah, it's part of it. It's just me like waiting for you to come through, and then going on from there. But it works.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a delay going on, of course.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help that my computer is like ancient. That's why we rely on your technology and tech.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true. I just realized my heater was off, but I'm comfortable. So, yeah, I don't know why I said that.
That's good. That's great.
Just so you know, I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, gracious.
This
All
has
right.
been Stay on Target, where we fall off target super easily.
Off target. Seriously, a squirrel runs by and we're distracted for 20 minutes. So, where's Nick when you need him? Nick, please keep us on the level. We're desperate.
We are. Oh, man.
All right. Well, the spoiler alert is creeping into the shot now. So I think we're going to jump into a few minutes of spoiling some of the parts of the episode. What do you think about that?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Let's do it.
Just reading some comments.
Oh, yeah. Reading some comments. Yeah. We got some comments on the YouTube. Yeah. Zarhimoto doing great. I'm loving this episode. Oh, good. Thanks. These guys, she follows up with, these guys are great with dealing with the crazy technology, just rolling with it. I'm just glad they're still doing this series. Fantastic. Again, I'm interested to find out who the people who spotted Ahsoka are and how they tie in. So we're just in the spoiler section. So there you go. I figure y'all would know, but I definitely didn't. Yep, perfect. And then yay for the fact checker, says Zarhimoto. Loving the comments, loving the interaction. You know, I think it's fair to say that we know Zarhimoto, and it is Zarhimoto's birthday today. So happy birthday, Zarhimoto.
Happy birthday, Zarhimoto.
From the Stay on Target crew. Your Targeteers are wishing you a happy birthday.
Yes, we heard it was your birthday, and we just want to say happy birthday.
Absolutely. We would love to say that. And if anybody else has any other birthday wishes they want to send in, no, I'm just kidding. We're getting bombarded with
you can donate to
Stay on Target. You can donate to Stay on Target. And we might consider wishing you a happy birthday.
And that'll wish her a happy birthday.
we will guilt you into a birthday wish.
Right.
Oh man, this is awful. The things you do when you're in lockdown. Just kidding.
Right.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
But that was a great question, Zarhimoto, dealing with Ahsoka and who was it that spotted her. So what do you think, Dustin? Let's go from there.
Okay. Well, if you want to start off right with that, I think it's going to be they're Mandalorians, obviously. I think it's going to be a branch of the Mandalorians that spot her, because it looked kind of like the owl-shaped, eyes of what's her name? Bo-Katan, actually. Bo-Katan has a similar helmet.
Yeah.
To that, and so does actually Sabine Wren. So I think it's going to be maybe an offshoot of like Death Watch, which is more just Bo-Katan's now, because technically in this time frame, I believe, well, Maul, because we're going into the Siege of Mandalore, which is on Mandalore, obviously. So, and Ahsoka is going to help lead the charge on that. She fights Maul, which they showed in the promos, and I'm not giving anything away.
Right.
But I think this is this episode is just kind of helping tie that in. I think next episode we're probably going to get even more with them or something like that. But it looked like a sect of the Mandalorians. I'm not exactly sure, but it could have been. I think maybe Bo-Katan,
Okay.
who was the one leading them
Mm-hmm.
to help take back over Mandalore. And then one of the voices, I don't know, I wasn't sure because I think there were 3 girls,
Okay.
right?
I think so too.
Yeah. I'm wondering if one of them isn't like the armor or something like that. Although the timing might not work
Ah.
out the same
When you say the
because
armor, you mean Mandalorian armor.
yeah, it could be, but that would make her pretty old because if she's already an adult at this point, and then
It's going to be another
you
so many years. Yeah,
how many
true.
years would that be?
Old
I
enough for
mean, it
Luke
could,
to
I
be
guess.
30, and Luke hasn't been born yet, so or 20s or 30s.
Well, the Mandalorian takes place 5 years after
Right.
Return of the Jedi,
And how old
and
was
so
Luke at the
Luke,
end?
so he's not even born yet at this point, but he's close to being
Right.
born at this point. So it'd be 18. He was about 18, right? In
New Hope.
New Hope. So, and then it's 3. I think it's
Yeah,
about 5 years,
in between.
4 years for the original, 4 or 5, and then
Yeah.
another 5. So 18. So he would have been. So that puts it at like 20 some years later, right? For
Yeah.
whoever that is, which I guess isn't too old, but so it could be the
Yeah.
armor, but I don't know. That might be a little bit of a stretch. We just don't know too many other female Mandalorians at this point,
Exactly.
other than Bo-Katan
And on the screen
and
right now,
Sabine
I
Wren.
did
But Sabine
post
Wren,
a picture on the screen right now of I believe it's the 3 people that were in the episode that did the spotting, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
The 3. Let me send you the picture so you can see what I'm looking at. But they're definitely in this picture Mandalorian helmets, 100%.
oh yeah,
And
I can't really see it here. But.
yep, I'm just sending it to you right
Sorry.
now so you can check it out because we
Okay,
got
sorry.
technology coming in.
Technology, man.
Messaged it, so there you go. But yeah,
Oh, sweet. Yeah,
see what
yep.
I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure that main one is Bo-Katan. That looks almost exactly like Bo-Katan's helmet. You could even look up a picture of Bo-Katan's and compare
Okay.
the two.
Yeah, we're gonna just figure this out right now. But yeah, that's those were the 3 that spotted her, right? And they had this kind of quick conversation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What they say, I don't remember what they said now.
I don't remember, but they said, is that the or is that the Jedi we ran into on such and such mission planet, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that would have actually been Death Watch because Bo-Katan was a member of Death Watch.
Okay.
And if you remember back in the Clone Wars, it was like Ahsoka and that like kind of love interest she had. I forget his name, but they kind of ran into. They got captured kind of by the Mandalorians
Right.
for a little while, and then they kind of fought and stuff like that.
Oh, yep.
So, and Bo-Katan would know her. I probably broke up there for a second, didn't I?
Yeah, you broke up for just a second, but I think you're back now. So, yep. Go ahead.
Sound
Oh, you're breaking up a little more there, but I think you're just having fun with it now. Yeah, but no, that was yeah.
Just call me the Grand.
The Grand's back.
Yeah.
He's been taken over by the Grand.
The Grand. Dustin the Grand.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds like Caesar. Dustin the Grand.
Dustin the Grand. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
except for I'm a goat instead of Caesar.
that's true. Caesar. Yes. All right, I think I've got a picture here if it will let me bring it in. It doesn't want me to bring in the picture. I got a picture of Bo-Katan and it's not letting me. So anyway, but from what I'm looking at, if people look up Bo-Katan on their Google machines, they'll see interwebers. Yeah, that picture or that one in the middle looks a lot like Bo-Katan. And do we know what the fate of Bo-Katan is? Do we want to spoil anything about Bo-Katan?
Um. Oh, you know what I just realized?
I have no idea what you realized.
Uh, because our fact checker sent us a
Some
picture of the Grand. I don't think the Grand is actually the species that we're
Oh,
thinking.
you're right. You're right. That is not the Gran.
That's a
Ah,
different species.
so you're morphing from a Gran into something else.
Yeah. Uh, it does say in the definition though that they had they have like snout goat like snouts,
Okay.
but huh? Unless they just have the wrong picture on here.
I don't know.
Might just have the wrong picture. Sorry. Anyway, I got distracted. I like
Staying on target.
right. Yeah. No. What were we talking about?
Bo-Katan.
Yeah. Oh, did we want to? Oh, Godel. It's the Godel species.
Godel. Well, that's right on the money. Yeah.
That's right on the money right
That
there.
makes sense. All right, and yeah.
The fact checker came through and corrected. So that always on point. Fact
Gotal.
checker.
Thanks, fact checker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thank you, Godel. That makes sense. So just call me a Godel from
He's a
now on.
Godel when he gets goaty on the live stream.
Yes.
Hey, you're not the only one in the world. Everybody else in the world, and now all of a sudden, all this internet bandwidth is being used up by all these other people that are at home trying to do what we're doing. So we never have this kind of competition, and all the Godels start coming out, and here we are. So you see that picture I sent you of Bo-Katan,
Yeah, I do. I
and so
see it.
what's that?
And
Yeah.
yeah,
So
fact checker sent us.
yep. I hear you. I think
The fact checker just sent us a picture, and that matches. So yes, the Godel is definitely the race that we were
it's
talking
definitely
about.
what we're dealing with.
Not
Yeah.
as important as Bo-Katan whatsoever, but we like to be as accurate as possible on this show.
Yeah, we try to.
Besides that,
That's why we keep a fact checker handy because
oh
we're
yeah,
a lot of
I'm
times we get
super
distracted.
thankful for the fact checker.
We don't remember what we're
But
talking about
in
half the
regards
time.
to in regards to Bo-Katan, yeah, Bo-Katan's a character that's been around for a while. She was the second in command of the Death Watch.
Yeah. Okay.
The Death Watch was led by oh my goodness, why am I gonna blank on his name right now? Oh shoot. Anyway, uh, fact checker. Sorry,
The leader
fact checker is
of
like our lifeline.
I know the
Leader of
leader.
Death Watch.
Yeah, the leader of the Death
Um,
Watch. Yeah.
yeah, he was the voice. It was what's his name? Who was the voice of him
It was what's his
too
name? It was the
in
voice
Clone
of
Wars.
the unnamed leader. It's been
Yep.
a long day. This is why we tried to do these earlier. No, I'm just kidding. We
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. No kidding. John Favreau. John Favreau voiced this character's name.
Oh, Favreau did. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Sorry. So Favreau voiced the character who
Oh,
was the head of Death Watch. So Bo-Katan was second in command. They did have a run in, Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, earlier in the Clone Wars, and then later on we meet Bo-Katan again. And Bo-Katan's actually, oh man, I'm not gonna try and say that because I forget her. She's a famous actress as well. The person who voices Bo-Katan, she's a famous actress.
yep.
Um, played in Star or something. I forget the Battlestar Galactica. She
Battlestar
was in
Galactica.
Battlestar
Yeah,
Galactica and a few other shows. But Katie Sackhoff. Katie Sackhoff
that's it. Yep.
plays Bo-Katan. Voices Bo-Katan, which a lot of people were wondering if she was going to make a live action appearance. You know, they
Yeah,
cast these
right.
big famous actors to voice, which is kind of crazy about the Clone Wars in a lot of ways that they get
Yeah,
these big actors that can do it.
it is
But
insane. Yeah.
it'd be really cool to see a lot of these characters and actors and play these
Pre-Vizsla.
characters in
Yep.
real life.
Fact
Pre-Vizsla.
checker just came through, not me. Fact checker. Thanks.
Good
Fact
job,
checker.
fact checker, as always.
Yeah,
Cranking it
Pre-Vizsla,
out.
and his name in the new one, as he's playing in the Mandalorian, was Vizsla. Remember?
Yeah, that was the last name, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Vizsla?
yeah. He's somebody else, somebody other Vizsla in the Mandalorian as well.
A lot of people were wondering if maybe that was just a fun nod,
Yeah,
and or if it or if it was actually like a descendant
Yeah, right.
or either descendant or a relative of Vizsla,
Mm-hmm.
pre-Vizsla, which would kind of explain why that guy was so aggressive.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
We
true.
kind of just switched to the Mandalorian there, just so everybody's aware.
Yeah, we
If you
jumped
haven't
into
seen the
we jumped.
Mandalorian,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Well, these
We're
are
kind of
so.
going
Yeah, they're so
we're going.
related. They're sorry.
All
they're
right, go
so
ahead, go ahead.
they're so interrelated because um just because John Favreau does it. So, and I'm not
Yeah,
sorry, not John Favreau, Dave Filoni and John
yeah,
Favreau,
yeah,
but they're interconnected. They've worked together on the
yeah,
Clone Wars series and they worked together on Mandalorian because they worked so well in Clone Wars. And now here we are back in Clone Wars, and so you're just going back and forth. Therefore, we're just going back and forth. So
yeah,
it's fun.
yes. So we're hopping all over the place. Plus, Rebels as well. Dave Filoni Rebels. So we're talking about Clone Wars. We're talking about Rebels. We're mentioning any of the movies, and then the Mandalorian is another big one that basically all these worlds connect, and so does technically even Solo connects in a few different ways, just with
Yeah.
one major character. But yeah, so we're kind of going all, and a lot of these characters show up in all of them, which is kind of funny because they're not really in the main movies,
Right.
but they're interconnected in all the background stuff in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Not necessarily backgrounds because some big events happen in these,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just cool to see that. I love seeing that. And that's the thing about Dave Filoni is they should have given him the reins to a new
Yep.
movie arc, because at least we would have known that he would have connected everything beautifully, and it
Yes.
would have made sense all the way through over years, decades.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it. When you see these people pop up, you're like, "Who is that? Who is that? I need to know." And even the two guys that were in the jail that they're like, "Let us out." I'm like, those
Yeah,
guys are familiar, right? I mean, they
yeah, their species. Yeah,
yeah, they're species. I mean, maybe they have nothing to do with, but they were original species in, I think, A New Hope, weren't they?
yeah, yeah. I mean, they were in the new. Yeah, they were definitely both in the New Hope. Yep, in the
Yes.
cantina scene, I believe.
That's what I thought. So it's just
Yep.
interesting. And then let's jump back, and so we were kind of in talking about that, but let's jump back quickly and talk about what happened earlier on with the sisters explaining their story and how
Oh yeah,
they were kind of arguing, and they're in this spoilers. They're in the jail cell because they did get captured because of their failed spice run. We're in the
yeah,
spoilers section anyway. And so here they are, and they're kind of spilling their guts about, how they feel about Jedi. And it was like Ahsoka was almost gonna tell her, or tell them that she's a Jedi. It was that's right. Isn't that kind of the impression you got, Dustin? she was kind of
yeah. She's kind of what? Sorry.
she was kind of gonna say that,
Uh,
explain to them that she was a Jedi. Because she was like, "Well, what if
yeah,
I was a Jedi?" Because she started kind of preaching to them about, we need
yeah,
to have hope and we need to do the right thing. And
yep. And then kind of the sisters kind of went off after that, not in like a bad way necessarily, but kind of
yeah,
explained,
yeah,
from the first arc that they had that what's her name? Oh man, terrible with names. What are the sisters' names? We had this problem last
yeah. We
episode.
did have this. I can't remember. I'm not. I
We're
just
terrible with names.
I can remember just enough of the plot. I can't remember the
Mar-
names.
Martez
Yeah.
is their last name. Something with a T, I think. Anyway, the younger sister,
Yeah.
which we should know the name. Fact checker will update us on this. Um, the younger sister kind of starts to go off. Uh, oh yeah, I believe one of their names Rafa. I think that's
Yeah.
the
Rafa
the
and
old that's the older sister's name.
yep. That's it.
But the younger sister kind of starts. Well, Rafa kind of goes off on Ahsoka right off the bat, and is
Yep.
starting to get upset about things. Before that too, I just wanted to say Rafa
Trace.
gets tortured. I mean, like,
Yeah. Rafa
oh,
does. Yeah.
gotcha.
It's Trace. Gone with a Trace. Yeah.
Trace and Rafa. Sorry. So Trace explains that basically, when the Jet in their mind they have a negative view about the Jedi because we believe it was, oh man, I had
Yeah.
her name too, but I know who the Jedi Master is. I believe that did this, but they had to make a choice. They had to save like a whole bunch of other people,
Yep.
or that on this landing platform that the ship was going to crash onto. or you know, kind of bump into like this one spot type situation. And unfortunately, that one or their house in the lower level, 1313,
Yeah.
and ended up killing Trace and Rafa's
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah,
Which is,
that's
sorry, I went Godel there for a minute, didn't I?
just for a second. Yeah, but we got enough of it. Yeah, it was pretty sad.
Yeah,
Basically, Rafa and Trace's parents died in an accident kind of caused half by the Jedi. Incidental. I mean, it wasn't on
yeah. It
purpose.
wasn't. I mean, the Jedi were doing the majority good. They did the
Yep.
best good that they could do in that situation,
Exactly.
but it still ended up in loss of lives. And at least that, I mean, that Jedi did go back and um, talk to them about it,
Yep.
which didn't really help. Of course, what's going to help in that situation? And
Yeah.
that's why they have this negative connotation because they think that it's her fault that
Yep.
their parents died. When in reality, it was just she was trying to do the best that she could in the situation that was
Exactly.
there. So it's just crazy. I mean, so it's understandable, and
Yeah.
Ahsoka wasn't able to say that she was a Jedi, and now she understands why they don't like the Jedi, and
Yep.
the Jedi are just foreign concept, and the reason their parents are dead in a lot of ways. So
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of a convoluted situation they find themselves in. Although Trace is more receptive, wouldn't you say?
yes, yeah, Trace is a lot more. Yeah,
Trace is a lot more receptive, but yeah,
she's a lot more
not
receptive.
Rafa.
I mean, she's just got a lot more of a kind heart, I'd say, Trace, but she's
Yeah.
the younger sister, a little more hopeful, remembers her parents in a better way too. But,
Yep.
Rafa being older and trying to step up, take care of people, and probably holding a grudge a bit more than Trace in a lot of ways because she was older and
Yes.
was angry about the situation. You
Yeah.
know, that's understandable and a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of a unfortunate accident. Part of what it's not the Jedi's fault. They were trying to capture Zero the Hutt and that whole situation. So they were just, it's going to be some
Yeah.
incidental stuff that happens. But it's interesting the relationship and how she remembers. Who was it? Do you think that came up and talked to her when they were kids? Remember that she referenced a Jedi lady coming up to her? Was it? It wasn't Ahsoka.
Yeah. That it's Bears. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's
Barris
Bears
Offee.
Ophi's
Okay.
master. Bears
Oh.
Ophi's master.
Oh. Okay. Because I was like, that's got to be a
I
nugget.
forget her name.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
um, yeah. Hang on.
Yeah. Because I thought that was interesting. I said, there's a lot of direct scenes I wish I had right next to me that I could watch as she's describing this. Because I know they were dealing with Zero in the movie, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oop, oop, he's coming through. He's Godel on us. He's coming back. he's,
Sorry.
oh, there he is.
Back.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I believe that was in the movie, and that was also in the the Clone Wars series. I couldn't
Okay.
remember the actual. I couldn't remember the actual time that this happened, but I feel like they covered it in somewhere in Clone Wars, but I
Maybe they
wasn't
did.
sure.
Or maybe it's just a side thing that could have happened alongside. Maybe they didn't show this exact scene or sequence, but it just sounds like something that happened
Yeah.
exactly as that. In the show, or maybe it happened just off camera, but it happened nevertheless in a section of the show that we saw. Luminara Unduli. He's Godel.
I know. I want to find that out. I ended up going back and I was looking through all the episodes to see if Luminara, that's her name.
Yep.
Yeah, Luminara Unduli, Rafa green skin, I believe it. You guys still see me?
Yeah, we can see and hear you. Yep, you were Godel on us, but you're back. So, yeah. Here it's kind of a
No.
golden skin. Is that what it? Yeah, I'd say so.
Did she say golden or green? I thought
Or
she
was it
said green or green eyes, maybe.
I can't tell from these pictures, but yeah, that Unduli is definitely Barasoffi's master, but it's hard to say. Yeah. It's hard to say yeah.
Yep. It's hard to say yeah.
So,
Yeah, and so that it was just that was kind of fun. My wife and I were trying to figure that out. We were like, "Man, who was that Jedi? I know we got to know who this Jedi is with the dark robes, the green one, the
yeah.
green eyes." Or they referenced green skin or green eyes. I couldn't remember which exactly. But then when you looked it up, we were like, I thought it was gonna be. We thought Shock T at first, but I was like, no, it's not Shock T. And then we were like, oh, who else could it be? And then we realized who it was. We had to look it up.
Yep, yep. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to look it up, so that's interesting. Yeah, yeah, it was an intense episode overall though, where she gets tortured basically, and she kept.
Yeah,
I had a couple of notes here. She kept put she was a jerk kind. I mean, Rafa. I know she's kind of bitter and cranky, and she took on some missions maybe she shouldn't have, but she's kind of like every time you think Ahsoka's gone or fallen or disappeared, she's like, oh well, too bad. you
yeah.
know. Whereas Trace is like, oh no, what happened to Ahsoka? And she's like, oh, too bad, she died or she's gone or whatever. Oh well, you can take. And then when they were in that jail cell, she's like, take her. And then they did hit Ahsoka. I mean, she went
Yeah,
down.
yep, yep, yeah. They were they were really
They were
mean to
pretty brutal.
Ahsoka.
That's what I'm saying. The brutality of this episode from those guards and stuff was pretty up there. I mean, they weren't pulling any
Oh
punches.
yeah,
And then Rafa was
yeah.
able to escape that one time with some clever moves, which yeah, hey, more power to her. But
Trace.
or was it? No, it was Rafa, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure Trace was the one who got away.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Maybe
They
that's
were
it.
taking Trace to be tortured,
Oh,
and
okay.
then Trace was the one who ended up pulling some funky moves and was able to get out of it
Oh,
because
that was
Rafa actually got tortured. So
yeah. So Rafa was the one in the jail cell that she said, I don't know anything. I didn't do anything with the spice, right? When she woke up in the
yeah,
cell when Ahsoka used her
yeah,
Jedi
exactly.
powers. Okay, so I had it flip flopped, so I obviously missed that. But same
And
point.
then but they kind of meet up later, and they said
Yeah.
that it was funny. They were like, "I'm here to save you. We're here to save you." Type situation. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's right. it
And
was clever.
also during this episode, it's just hilarious how Trace probably had never shot anybody, and then she was like an expert marksman
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Right.
Like
Yes.
all these like guards and stuff couldn't shoot at all. Like one of them, there was like a giant open door,
Yeah.
and one of the shots hit the side like outside the door.
Yeah.
I was like, who shot that one?
I know. They must have
I was just like, I
not even
kinda
close.
cracked me up. That's like the thing of Clone Wars, though. In some ways, it's
It doesn't
but
all make
most
sense.
villains in general, yeah. It was funny though that you mentioned earlier those two guys that got out. I was like, Prison Break.
Yeah,
It's like the one
right.
time I wanted to see like a Prison Break.
That would have been awesome. But then it was interesting how they she got them out and then they didn't just run away. They ran right toward the guys shooting at them. So they
Yeah.
instantly were
Well,
I guess they were trying to get their guns or something. I don't know.
yeah, probably trying to get their guns. Plus, if they had been tortured by them, I think I would be a little
They
bitter and
might be a
go
little
after
angry.
them too.
Well, the one dude, I don't know what his species is with the big hook neck thing.
Yeah, the like rounded face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
man.
picks up the
Yeah.
dude and
Back
just
there.
throws him at those other dudes. I was like,
That was crazy.
I'm like, he's gonna be sore in the morning.
Yeah. That is a powerful species though. They are very strong, that species. It was cool to see that.
Yeah.
And then the other one kind of looked like the pirate species from,
Yeah.
earlier in the
Hondo almost.
Clone Wars. I forget there. Hondo and Anaka.
Hondo Anaka. Which we haven't seen him yet. I'm waiting. You think we
I
will?
hope
He's a Godel.
we will, but
Oh,
I
there it is.
hope so.
Yeah. I
Oh,
hope so
was
too.
I
You
Godel?
went Godel
Sorry.
for you just froze for a split second, but you're back. So yeah.
Boop.
You don't think we will see him? I think I can't tell if he's actually doing that on purpose or if it's an accident. But either way, it's funny.
I don't know how he fits into this arc. I thought about doing it on purpose.
Okay, because you froze there for a second. And I was like, he might be just doing this. Oh man, this is funny.
Yeah, I thought about doing it for a second, and then I was still happy isn't it?
It's still happening off and on. Yeah, but you're okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's all right. And so far,
Technology.
yeah, technology. You know, what are you gonna do? Everybody's using all that bandwidth right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, Master
Well,
Luminara on Dually Fact Checker said has blue eyes with green skin. So yeah, I guess my
nice.
pictures that
Yes.
I'm looking at aren't very. I'm just not able to see them. So yeah, that's perfect. So that's who it is then. Good call, Dustin. I
Thanks.
wouldn't
Yeah,
have got it.
that's who it seemed anyway. My wife helped me with that too, so
Brilliant. Yeah, it's
she she was a genius a lot of ways behind that one.
there you go.
It
Well,
was
somebody's
fun for us to look that up.
yeah, yeah. It's cool because there's always question marks when you watch these. Again, because you know that Dave Filoni puts thought into every character and every person you see on the screen. You know, even the shots from what I've been seeing in the Clone Wars download I've been watching a little bit. They talk a lot
Yeah,
about the cinematography. They talk a lot about the lighting, a lot about the character, the camera angles. I'm like, seriously? It seems like you just like put the people on screen, but it's true. They said every scene is intentional. If the shot is way zoomed out, it's because they want to show you scale and they want to show you how alone that character feels in this big universe. And then they come in on the close-ups, and it's very, very cinematic. And they said that they
yeah.
learned from Rebels and what was the newest one, the more kiddie one, Rebellion,
Resistance.
Yeah. And so they said they learned kind of from both of those and have been able
Yeah,
to kind of perfect in ways, and maybe even Mandalorian. But I think they were doing this a lot at the
yeah.
same time as a Mandalorian, so they didn't really get any
I think
inspiration.
you're right. I think so. Yeah, because might take a little bit longer for them to actually do this one because of all the animation and like all that stuff.
Yeah. Do you remember when they announced Clone Wars season 7 was coming? Was it just this past Star Wars
I
Celebration?
think it was. I think it was last year's. I'm pretty sure it was last year's Star Wars Celebration. Yeah,
Yeah, 2019 Star Wars Celebration.
2009, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we were like, oh sweet, we're getting Clone Wars season 7. Who saw
Yeah.
that coming?
Right.
It was one of those
Oh,
things.
sugars.
Oh, sugars.
Yeah. Well, because there was so much gray area. We're like, well, we know it's coming, and the Mandalorian ended. And remember us even on this live show, we're like, well, I guess whenever it happens, we don't know. And then all of a sudden they drop the bombshell. It's gonna come out 2 weeks before the virus takes over the world. No, they
Right.
didn't say that,
Yeah,
but
who would have known? Yeah.
yeah, they said February, last week of February, I think it was when it started. So here we are, and what a perfect show. I'm glad they decided to release it because I would imagine, are getting more views than they maybe would have
Yeah.
otherwise.
Yeah, probably. I mean, everybody's at home,
Yeah.
might as well watch some Clone Wars.
Yep. Yep. And our
I
fact
wish
checker.
we had
Oh,
Mandalorian season 2. Sorry,
you went Godel. Sorry, what'd you say?
I went Godel. I said I wish we had Mandalorian season 2 right now.
I know. Oh man, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. No, fact checker said, are the guards the Pike Syndicate? They are, correct?
Yes, that's the Pike Syndicate. Yeah, they're Pike Syndicate guards, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And probably those guys that were in prison were probably criminals themselves.
yeah. Yeah.
It's
Probably.
that's a sketchy place. That's not a place you wanna get
No.
caught up in,
They didn't have any mercy on them either. Torture, beat them up,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
They backstabbed the Pike Syndicate, and that it's
Yeah.
just the underworld place that they're in. And it's interesting. There was a line that Ahsoka said, "You're pretty good at this." I think she said it to Trace, or did she say it to Rafa? Do you remember?
I thought it was Trace.
Okay,
I
I
don't
think
remember.
yeah. She's like, "You're pretty good at this," kind of like hinting almost that like, you know, just all the daring and danger of what they're doing. She's better than just a mechanic or whatever. I thought it was
Yeah.
Rafa, but I think you're right. She wouldn't care as much to say that to Rafa. I think she would have said it to Trace. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's
Yeah, I can't remember that. Who said that to who, I guess.
yeah. But anyway, it was an interesting moment, and I mean, it was a lot of interesting moments actually. And
Oh,
then of
yeah.
course, which we talked about earlier, but the images of Bo-Katan possibly. I've got those on the screen now, so everybody can see them on the live stream. But yeah,
Can you
it's
see
you
you
can
see
see the
both of them?
yeah, the lighter colored one. You can see kind of her helmet, It's got a little bit different design. It doesn't have the side. At least this picture up here doesn't have the. It's got that same mark in the middle though of the forehead. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So maybe that's.
like
I think that's
like maybe
Bo-Katan.
I think she might have changed her design a little bit
Yeah.
because of Death Watch kind of isn't anymore.
Oh,
You know,
okay. So that yeah,
she
and
kind of
this one
split.
could be a later one. You know, the time period might be off a little bit, but it does look very similar. Same coloring, even. You know.
Yeah, it looks it no, it looks like the same d- emblem right on the front there,
Yeah. Yeah, I
and
think
then
you're right.
they just added to it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm pretty dang sure that that's Bo-Katan. And then if you look at the other two, they have slightly different variations. They have slightly different variations to Bo-Katan's, but it's in the same realm, which would mean that they're kind of following her, I believe.
Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would say
Because
that they're in charge.
yeah, because technically, what happens with Bo-Katan is, Pre Vizsla ends up taking over Mandalore. Spoiler alert there if you haven't seen Clone Wars, sorry, but he ends up taking over Mandalore. But
Yeah.
then Darth Maul challenges him, and then what happens is there's a bit of a split because Pre Vizsla loses, Darth Maul wins, and then
Yep.
Darth Maul takes over, and then there's people that choose to follow Maul because technically he defeated Pre Vizsla, so then that gives him the right to rule in that warrior mentality, Death Watch style of the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And then, but Bo Katan didn't believe in that, and also because Bo Katan's sister was uh, uh, Katan's sister was the ruler of Mandalore, who was also in love with Obi Wan.
Sabine or Satine. Yep, we lost him there. But Duchess Satine.
Satine,
Yep,
yeah,
yep. Duchess Satine was Bo-Katan's sister. History lesson here.
Duchess Satine.
Yeah, Duchess Satine, and there was a
Yep,
interesting relationship between her and Obi-Wan, and
yeah.
yeah,
I wish
insane
I want to see
ending.
a movie about that.
Yeah, seriously, they could do a whole movie about that. It'd be fascinating. One of the greatest arcs and moments of that, Clone Wars. I don't remember what season that was. Season 5, maybe.
I don't
I
remember.
can't remember, but a lot of the Mandalorian stuff in Mandalore, which again they're going to touch on here pretty soon. So, and I think today's episode,
Yeah,
we were mentioning that on the last episode. We were talking, are they going to hint at that? And I think this was the tie, probably,
yeah,
to finding, or jumping over into Mandalore. I have a feeling on episode 8, because they got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 episodes left if you include episode 8 next week. So it's going to get insane, I think.
yeah. I think this is just the beginning of everything coming together.
Yeah.
With Anakin's arc, with Ahsoka's arc,
Yeah.
with even Maul coming in, and then the Siege of Mandalore is going to be the
Yes.
climax at the very end. Plus, I think they're going to go into some Revenge of the Sith territory,
Yeah.
maybe.
And it's insane.
I'm just wondering how they're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't, we haven't seen Maul yet. We haven't seen, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they're going to have to touch on pretty quick, and I think they will. But it's going to be crazy in 5 episodes, I have a feeling. And this episode, I feel like, was kind of the primer for, like, this is going to be insane from now on. So get ready.
Yeah.
And because this one,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it stepped up a notch in the intensity
Yeah.
level.
Yeah. The stakes, the
Yeah.
stakes are high in all this. I mean, it's life and death at this point.
Yep.
And I think from here on out, it's just going to go up and up and up. I don't think they're really going to have time for any filler episodes. I mean, I think
No.
what's the next arc? I'm wondering if they're going to jump straight to Maul because I feel like they're
Yeah.
going to have to explain a lot for Maul to come in.
Well, they're just gonna have to get to the Mandalorians quick, And Zarhimoto commented, said, "I definitely think it was the best of the Ahsoka arc so far," and I agree with her.
Yes.
Kind
Yeah,
of
I
the
agree.
conflict there, and she she definitely used her force powers, still secretly to get herself out of a couple of situations. But yeah, there was definitely some some insanity there with Ahsoka, and now she's just getting herself into hotter and hotter water, and now she's being noticed by Mandalorians, and she's getting noticed by all kinds of people. You know, they drew her out. You know, and basically at the end, spoiler, they recaptured them. They're back full circle in
Yeah.
jail, and it ends again. You're like, come on. So
Yeah, come on. Of course.
so Maul's gonna show up in the next episode and break them out of prison.
That would be no, because what last we see Maul, he was captured by um,
The Jedi?
the Emperor.
Oh, the
That's the
Emperor.
last we've seen of Maul in
Oh.
this timeline, Clone Wars.
So we
you know,
still haven't
technically-
seen Maul yet in this timeline?
Well,
Oh, yes,
we've seen him earlier on in Clone Wars.
With all the Savage stuff,
It gets so muddled because, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
It gets so muddled because of how these have all been released.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
It's not linear.
watching episode 4, 5, and 6. Yeah. It's like watching episode 4, 5, and 6, going back to 1, 2, and 3, and then 7, 8, 9. Not that we want to talk about those, but
Yeah.
but how they released it was like Clone Wars. They didn't finish Clone Wars, they went to Rebels.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Then we saw Mandalorian, and then now we're
Right.
back to Clone Wars. So it's like trying to keep all this straight, and even whatchamacallit, Solo. It's like
Yeah.
trying to keep all this straight. You need like a map just to like know where we're at in the timeline.
Exactly. We need somebody that's really
So-
organized to put together like the best like graphic screen where you can almost like a database where you're like, okay, well, where was Barriss Offee at this point in time? Where was Darth Maul at this point in time? And okay, had he met up with the Emperor? You know, we need a master list. I'm sure somebody's got one out there.
Yeah, we do. It's some I know. I've seen a few of them actually, not of specific characters necessarily, but of timelines and events.
I mean,
that take place.
StarWars.com has some good information, and
Yeah,
you know, if
Well,
we
they
wanted to, but you'd still have to mine it all and, you know, relay all these different characters, and so who knows. But Dustin,
Yeah,
you got a
but-
lot more knowledge on it than I do, so I'm not very helpful on this.
no, you are. No, well, we're all going through it together. It's just trying to remember what happened when, really. But
Yeah.
so last we know, Darth Maul was captured by the Emperor. You know, because
Yeah.
Maul had taken over Mandalore, and then in that crazy boss scene where the Emperor just shows up and wrecks shop,
Yeah.
takes out Savage, and then recaptures Maul. That's the last we've seen of him. So at this point, we don't know what happened to Maul. We thought, you know, so now this is going to have to reintroduce. How did he get away from the Emperor?
Exactly.
What happened there?
What was the point?
You know,
Yeah.
how is he back to Mandalore?
Yeah.
and back in charge type situation for the siege of Mandalore. You know,
It's true.
I think part of how he got out is actually going to Mandalorians. I think there was a comic about it actually, where you know the Mandalorians that decided to follow him because he won
Yeah.
the fight against Pre Vizsla,
Yeah.
and that's how it works. I think they broke him out and saved him, and then they took him back to Mandalore to be Mandalore the Ultimate again, and that's why Bo-Katan doesn't like him, obviously, and you know she wants to. Well, she doesn't necessarily want to rule, but she wants the rightful heirs to rule and to be peaceful again, you know, or at least be doing the right thing. And it to be actual Mandalorians in charge, you know, instead of Darth Maul, who's a Sith, you know.
Yep.
So I think that's how this is playing out. I think that's why Bo-Katan's showing up to find Ahsoka, because she knows Ahsoka can fight Maul
Yeah.
and take him out potentially, or knows how to lead forces and stuff like that.
Yep. And she's
and
kind of a
Bo-Katan's
free
gonna wanna
agent
go
right
up
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And was trained by Anakin, you know.
True.
So she's got the skills, and they've met, so they know each other at least.
Yep.
So I think that's how this is all coming together. But I think the
That makes
next
sense.
arc is probably going to be Maul. They haven't said what the next arc is, right?
No, I mean, I don't even think they've. I just happened to catch on Monday or Tuesday they mentioned the name of the newest episode. So they're, as far as I've seen, I haven't even seen a master list of titles or any of the sort. And Yeah. So I'm curious to see. They're keeping us all in the dark. So I think that means anything could
Yeah,
happen in the next 5
yeah,
episodes.
exactly. Yeah.
It's
So there's a
craziness.
lot. I I like this episode. I like the fact that we saw what again Ahsoka's character development for Ahsoka again. It's all new territory for her. She's away from the Jedi Order, so she doesn't know what to do necessarily. So she's just kind of following her own path, but
Yeah.
then also learning how the Jedi aren't perfect. She knows that more than anybody.
Yep. Exactly.
But she's still following her creed, which is I think which is it the line in this I think is what she say? It's like hope. It was a hope line, but always I'll always help others no matter what. It
Yeah.
was
No
like
matter
if I
what. Yep.
can that and that's it's funny enough. I actually caught a interview with Ashley Eckstein, and she said that that line is actually kind of her motto in life in a
Hmm.
lot of ways.
Wow.
It's funny how she really embodies that character that she plays.
Yeah. Right.
Um, but that was a great line, and that kind of sums up, Ahsoka in so many different ways.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you don't have to be a Jedi to do the right thing, and that's also one of the other main reasons I love Ahsoka's character, and why this is so interesting. Because again, it's not a Jedi turning to the dark side. It's a Jedi leaving the Order because the
Exactly.
Order wasn't perfect, but she's still doing the right thing, and she's still good. She's
Yep.
fallen a little bit more into that gray Jedi area, which I think is very fascinating.
Yep. Exactly. It's never been done before, as far as we
Yeah,
know, other than not even Luke. I mean, Luke wasn't a gray Jedi. He just was a, I don't know what he was.
he
He
just
just,
didn't grow up in the Jedi Order.
yeah, and he didn't grow up in the Jedi Order, and then he was trained,
He
and then
thought,
I'm talking about like in the newest series, he kind of went off
oh
the grid. He just went off the grid. He didn't
yeah,
go. He
that's
didn't
true.
like leave the Jedi. He just said, "I don't want to do it anymore," and he went off the grid. So
Right.
yeah, so this
Yeah.
gray Jedi thing is always been curious. We've always wondered, what can she do or whatever. So and then of course the way she shows up in Rebels. I mean, she's a wise sage in Rebels, and
Yeah.
she obviously had to learn some lessons along the way, and but she could have gone bad, she could have gone dark, she could have gone any of those ways with all the
Yeah.
stuff coming up. She could have just gone off and tried to kill all the rest of the Jedi herself. Who knows? But something,
Yeah.
something good happens, and she's got a good heart, and obviously Ashley Eckstein does, and so Dave Filoni didn't want to probably turn her into the craziest villain of all after the fans just became, or just started to like her at the end of into Clone Wars. Obviously, the first movie in this first season, she was pretty loathed. I saw in an
Yeah.
interview. She was
Oh yeah.
when she heard about the reviews and how people hated her character and were so upset. She cried and she was sad. No, I can't believe that she was so excited to be a part of it. And then she gets destroyed online, and everybody hated Ahsoka. And then by
Yeah.
season 2 and 3, she's one of their favorite characters, and it's all come
Yeah.
full circle. And then when she showed up in Rebels, I mean, it's amazing. And now she's going to be a Mandalorian. So
Yeah.
it's not Ashley Eckstein, but it's going to
As
be,
far as we
as
have they
far as,
actually
yeah, not StarWars.com, but I don't think StarWars.com is making any big announcements right now. It's
yeah.
all the sub people. I don't even know if Star Wars is allowed to do anything. I don't know. They're in California lockdown probably, but they could do stuff
Yeah. Yeah, they might
virtually.
not be doing much right now. I mean, they're probably working well, they're all working from home, I'm
Well,
assuming.
the editors have to be working on Mandalorian. They have to try and get that
Yeah.
edited, and they're gonna be zooming a lot like we are, editing stuff. And
Yeah.
hey, what do you think about this shot? And what do you think about that? And I'm sure they have servers where they can just get on and see what the latest can be.
Yeah. As long
So
as they have computing power at home,
yeah,
like they might not
exactly.
have, you know, like my computer's not super great here, but
Hey, but it looks good, man.
it
It's
works.
doing good when it doesn't go goat hole, but that's not your computer. That's just a network issue.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
yeah, it's just that time of night probably where peak hours.
Yeah,
But
everybody's on.
honestly, I'm not speaking as a salesman for Zoom, but I'm not afraid to say this. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice service to use, and the options that it
Not a
gives us.
sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but it's working really good actually.
Yeah,
and and
Yeah, no, I agree.
and it hasn't kicked us off yet. So hey, we're doing pretty good.
That's a
So
that's a bonus, or
that's a
maybe it hasn't. We just haven't realized.
maybe it has. Maybe we're not streaming anything. Maybe people left like an hour ago. We're just sitting here, but we would be doing that anyway. We
Right,
would be sitting around
exactly.
talking anyway. I said, hey, might as well hit record and stream it to people. So, yep. So I think that about wraps up this episode. I
Yeah,
can't think of much else other than it's been fun watching and seeing what they do with this season.
yeah, I know. I could probably go into a lot more, but we've already gone over. We should time, so
Well, we went longer than I thought we would be able to go with our
yeah,
limitations here, but hey,
that's
we're
true.
we're into the extra innings. So,
Extra innings, yeah.
and I think so man, it's exciting. So yeah, we'll see what episode 8 happens with episode
Yeah,
8, and if we can get on and do a live stream next week. Of course, it's Easter, so whatever that may or may not mean that we're busier or not busier than usual. And most other times
yeah,
of year, I think we would be gathering with family and doing different things, but probably not this year. So we'll see if we can get a chance to stream an episode next week, and hopefully we'll have some of these kinks worked out. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining in, Dustin.
oh, yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's great to be staying on target with
Yeah.
you.
It's funny because I wanted to be able to do this type of thing anyway, virtually call people in, or,
Yeah,
get a special guest that couldn't physically be in the studio and
yeah,
whatnot. Because, I mean, we live pretty close to each other physically, so we can get together and do it on the same camera. But hey, the times that we couldn't, and who would have thought that here we are locked down and not able to go to each other's houses. So, um,
lockdown.
locked down. So yeah, so we're able to virtually do it. So now in the future, when we want to, bring in Dave Filoni for an interview for Stay on
Yeah,
Target, we can
exactly.
do that. Hey, yeah, we use Zoom all the time. We're pros. We did it one time on our stream. So come on,
We're right
Dave.
we're right up there with everybody else.
We're
That's what I keep
we're
saying.
we are professionals. And yeah, I had to figure out the kinks with this program to get it to work, and it's doing pretty good. So I just keep talking about that because I think I'm amazed that it's working.
And Dave, if you're watching,
Yeah.
you're welcome to come on the show anytime, please.
Yeah,
John
anytime.
Favreau. I mean, I don't think they'll ever watch this, but if they do, you are welcome anytime.
They just seem like the kind of guys that would do that, though. They would
They
just
they do, yeah. Between their busy, the only thing is their super busy schedule.
yes, exactly. And even a
That's
Zoom
the
call is
thing I think.
probably yeah. I would even just
Yeah.
do a voice call. They don't even have to, look on camera.
Oh yeah.
Just give me
Just
we'll just record it.
I'd just love to talk to them.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Oh my goodness, I could talk to them for days about Star Wars. I'm
Yes.
not even joking about it. I could talk to them for days
Days
about
and
Star
days.
Wars.
It's true. All the inside scoops they have and just the knowledge, because they're obviously huge fans, and they get
Yeah,
us Star Wars
exactly.
fans super excited, and they, add to that passion and all that. And, I mean, where George Lucas did in the 70s and then, late 90s and early 2000s, the prequels were questionable, but they were still fun, and there was all kinds of new lore being created. And then we
Yeah.
had Clone Wars, which was Filoni and George Lucas.
Yeah, see, I still say that the prequels, the stories there, it's just the execution. I think that's another reason why I think the Clone Wars are so successful, because the execution was handed over to somebody else, but it was still George Lucas's story alongside of Dave Filoni.
Yep.
So I think the prequels could have been on a whole nother level if, say, somebody else directed or was able to give a little bit more of a professional execution. I'm not that George didn't, but I
Right.
just don't think that's necessarily his strong suit as much. I'm not criticizing him because I couldn't do it, but I'm just saying, look at the original trilogy. They weren't all directed by him.
Yep.
And the edits, were different, and
You're right.
somebody was able to go in there with those edits. It's just nice when you have people to bounce ideas off of. Whenever you're just totally in control of everything,
Yeah.
and everybody's yes, sir, not going to question
Yes.
him on anything, or say, what about this? I think that's why Clone Wars worked in a lot of ways, because it was like Dave Filoni and him. Dave Filoni was able to actually, as an apprentice would, say,
Yeah,
well,
right.
what about this? I like the execution. Plus, he had the experience in the animation world already. So that's why I think it really worked out well.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm, the perfect
Yeah.
coming together of two experts in their fields and passion for Star Wars and storytelling. And that's why I think Mandalorian has hit it off so well, because here we are with, I mean, a giant in the Marvel universe, as we know him, and he was in
Yeah.
Clone Wars, Jon Favreau, and then put him together with Dave Filoni. The live action thing was where
Yeah.
everybody's like, well, Dave Filoni, can he do live action? I don't know. But here he is. If you can tell a good story, you can tell a good story. And there was
Yeah.
some of the episodes he directed. We went on this a lot, but
Yeah.
his directing in the live action, apparently there's a difference because we noticed some of that, but I couldn't do any better.
Yeah. It was just some of the episodes he directed. You could tell you're like, man, this would play so well in animation. And that was, without thinking about Dave Filoni, I was just like, this seems like it would work so much better in an animated form versus a live action form.
Yeah.
Not that it was subpar, but it was just like, man, this would have been perfect in animation. It doesn't play quite 100% right in live action.
Yeah.
But, at least he still has some other great directors helping him along the way. And plus, Jon Favreau was there to help him as well. The other reason Mandalorian I think is so fantastic is because it's made by fans, super fans of the show. Both
Exactly.
of these guys, they love it, Star Wars, and you know what, they admire what George did.
Yep.
They're not trying to do something totally different from what George did. I mean, they are in some ways, but they're keeping it in line with what George set up, and I think that's part of the reason why it's so fantastic.
Yeah, even down to the special effects. Yeah, they don't have to use practical stuff. I mean,
Yep.
and this, as far as the space, at the same time, they are using some of the craziest technology as far as the 3D wraparound sets that they're using, which is insane. All that real time virtual like reality gaming style, like playing out scenes in real time and being able to change the background of the texture maps and stuff to make it insane. But at the same time, they're using physical, planes, models, and videoing them as they, like George Lucas did in the 70s. So it's a really cool, and it feels more like George Lucas. He was always pushing the envelope.
Yeah, and they are pushing the envelope by creating that new technology and still using the classic techniques that George was. Like you said, it's exactly right. That's why it feels so Star Wars.
Yeah, and anytime you see a interview with Filoni or Favreau, you're just like, yes, they get it.
Yeah.
They're
right.
the fandom is just, that's why you say you could talk to them for days, and
I
think we could.
I think we could. We could, yeah.
Pick their brains and get their thoughts, but hey,
I'd throw them some ideas too, man. I always got ideas cooking in my brain, but I'd be probably asking a bunch of questions too.
Story by Dustin Hawkins and Dave Filoni. Snap.
Oh man, that would make my life if I could do that.
That'd be amazing.
Just even like for us, like our fan films are, I still would want them to watch them and critique them. I don't know why, but I mean, I'd feel both excited and like, oh man, we have the greats watching our like no budget films.
That'd be amazing.
But man, it'd be so fun. I think maybe they did.
They probably did.
I mean, technically, they took a lot of stuff from our video.
They did, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but CBS, who owns the show Survivor, used one of our names in their latest season. For those of you who watched that.
Oh, really?
Remember that?
Nope.
The Mandalorian in our third fan film, Preservation, her name was what?
Oh, Yara.
It was Yara. Yeah. Anyway, one of the tribes in this latest season of Survivor's name was Yara. Exactly the same spelling, exactly the same. So crazy.
And it was her name in the show was Yara. Well, technically it would have been Yara Rune.
Rune, yeah.
And in Mandalorian, what's her name is Cara Dune.
Cara Dune, right?
So
that name is just spot on. Yeah. It's spot on. So the CBS thing, Survivor, has nothing to do with Star Wars, but it's still interesting.
Yeah.
So
We
and
just always like to equate.
yeah,
We just like tooting our own horn all the
we
time. We're
we
just
came in with
like,
that fan film like way back in
way
2016 when you wrote it, I think.
right,
Oh man,
right.
and here we are. Just it doesn't really make any difference, but it's kind of cool for us because we did work hard on those back in the day, and we're
We
still
did,
working
yeah.
hard. Hey, so if you get any ideas, Dustin, let me know. We'll go out and shoot one this summer when and
Oh,
if we get out of lockdown.
lockdown. I know. I wish I had stuff right now so we could be shooting, but yeah, lockdown. Just
um,
be a solo one. We should do a Survivor Jedi, like one camera in the woods.
yes, that'd be
That'd
awesome.
be hilarious. Oh man, that's an idea. Let's do that.
There's an idea. Don't give away the ideas. Filoni
Oh
and
yeah,
Favreau are
sorry.
watching.
Yeah, now we're gonna see it in like a year or two. It's
No.
gonna be. They're gonna be. I know. I got plenty of ideas for some awesome Star Wars content, but execution again. I'm good with story, but execution.
Yeah, right. It's all in the execution, and then it's all in the edit, which is where I get to come in and have some fun. And I'm like, I'm gonna change
Oh
this
yeah.
whole story and make it awful.
No.
That's what all the directors say about editors. You know, they have this beautiful vision, and then it gets to the editors, and they have to cut all of it out. You know, because they don't have
Right.
16
Right.
hours to show their movie in the theater.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think shows, live action shows are like the way to go.
Yeah,
Because then you can take time to develop
yeah,
as much
exactly.
time as you want and just cut it up into small pieces.
Totally. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. And but that's the beauty, like you said, of TV stuff. It's getting to see all the rabbit trails I get to go down, and
Yeah.
the way Filoni weaves them together, we'll just keep beating it like what is this? What's the phrase? Beating a I don't want to say it. But anyway, beating a dead
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah, that's what it
No,
is. Yeah.
I don't want to mess that one up.
Oh man, now Pete is after us.
Yeah, we're in
It's just an
trouble now.
expression.
But
We're not.
we don't want to just beat it into the ground, but Filoni just does such a brilliant job of just bringing everything together and weaving
Oh
all
yeah.
this stuff from 3 different shows now or whatever, and bringing it all together. We're talking to Mandalorian. If that was the found or the what was her what did she do?
Armorer.
Armorer, if it was the Armorer,
Yeah.
then you got Bo-Katan, and she was in Rebels, and then you got whoever else, Of course,
You got Maul, who
Maul
spans
crosses over everything.
Ahsoka,
Yeah,
Anakin. You got all the greats in there, really.
all the greats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. That's again, yeah, and this is the Clone Wars season 7 is a perfect example of a show that's gonna start in one area, shows Anakin, but also the Bad Batch arc, and then they change it up from how they originally had it, but they want it to connect even more than they originally planned. So the Bad Batch, but Anakin and Obi-Wan and stuff like that, and
yep.
Rex, and then now we're going down Ahsoka's path, and then I think what's going to happen is maybe Maul's path. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know, but maybe Maul next, potentially, or there's going to be a different arc. But all interweaving to I think what's going to lead up till the end, which is going to be the Siege of Mandalore. And that's going to be epic. I cannot wait for that. I think
Oh
it's going to
man,
be fantastic.
that's what I agree. That's why if you haven't caught up on these 7 episodes, right?
Yep.
If you haven't caught up
All
on
of
these
Clone Wars
if you haven't watched all 6 seasons of Clone Wars, since you have so
and
much
Rebels
and
and The
all of
Mandalorian.
Rebels and all of the
Just watch
prequels.
all. Just binge watch them all.
Hey, we got the time. If you're
We
not
got the time now.
at least in our state, if you're a non-essential, so on and so forth, infrastructure worker, you're basically commanded to stay home. So, Netflix eventually run out of stuff to watch. And although Clone Wars used to be on Netflix, but now it's not. Get Disney Plus, go to town.
Yep, you can watch pretty much all of them there now.
Yeah.
Disney Plus, you can watch Clone Wars, Rebels, and Mandalorian.
I haven't seen episode 9 yet on Disney Plus, but I think they're still getting sales and whatnot from the.
Oh, Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, I haven't seen Clone Wars episode 9 out there yet.
Right?
Which would make sense because it's still coming out in 2 weeks. But yeah, but I was gonna show the folks, and maybe you could see it real quick, Dustin. A funny thing nobody really cares, but because we were talking about your fan film and new stuff or whatever. But I was goofing around just a minute ago, actually this week, because I had a little extra time, and I was making this thing that we videoed, let's see, long ago. And
The anticipation is killing me.
yeah, you want to know because you haven't seen it either. Nobody has because nobody's watching. But there it is. I was doing a little roto. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see it, Dustin. Of course you
I
can't.
can't see.
Well, pull up the view.
I still can't.
Aren't you
The
watching the
anticipation's
feed?
still killing me.
Aren't you watching the feed on the actual YouTube? If
Yeah,
you were
but
watching
there's a
that.
delay.
Ah, snap! It's 20 seconds. You're right. But
Yeah, it's
you see what I'm saying?
oh yeah, okay. Now I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. So Dustin, a while back, they were way back when they were doing the what was it, the Kylo Ren challenge thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And anyhow, that's Dustin's Kylo Ren challenge. And I said, hey, I'm gonna actually finish this thing. I'm gonna roto this thing. So, that's what the lightsaber looks like. But what do you think about that glow? Is it not enough or is it too much? Actually, I don't think it's enough. But I'm trying to get these settings tweaked.
We're just live editing
We're
our
just-
video now.
Hey, this is content that people can't get. Yeah, it's After Effects. You can see all the masks. It's all coming in live. So yeah,
Yeah, you could probably give that glow a little bit more, but it's looking pretty good.
it's looking pretty good.
Kind of hard to tell right now, to be honest. But
Yeah, you'd have to see it up close. But
it's called the Ben Solo Shrug.
oh, the Ben Solo shrug. Thanks, fact checker.
Yeah,
I knew it was the
it's a
fact checker.
challenge that was going around a while ago,
And then
and we recorded something for it. But
yeah, and the other thing is like even getting the saber colors. I need to look up the the exact numbers or whatever they are to get the colors right. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And there's all kinds of different settings for getting the glows right. So I don't know why I'm showing all this right now, but it's kind of fun. But there you
this
go.
is the all things
If
in
you
the behind the scenes. We like to show a little bit of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, if you stayed this long, you
You've been
earned
rewarded
it.
with that.
You earned it. No, but there's all kinds of goodies if you stay with us for 17 hours online. But I think
Nobody else has got anything else to do, right? We
That-
all got time.
right. We got the time.
No, sure.
No, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, we were also talking about releasing something else.
oh, you're talking about a specific tune.
I don't even know if we should, but
I think we have to. We just absolutely
Yeah.
have to because
it's the rough. It'll be the rough edit of it. It's not finalized.
Yeah.
But
well, we've come
the
up with
rough
we've come up with a couple of videos in the last few weeks. They haven't been live, but the Millennium Dan Van Star Wars Challenge was a lot of fun. I think people really enjoyed that, and I did a really fun little lightsaber light speed tunnel. And
Yep.
this last one we did some video gaming from us playing some
Yep.
Fallen Order. That was pretty cool. What'd you think about
Yeah,
that?
I'd like to do that again. Maybe if people want to see that, maybe we could even, if we could figure it out,
Yeah,
hop online and play some gaming together.
yeah, exactly. All we need to do is figure out how to
Do
get
some gaming.
if we can capture your TV screen while you're playing a game.
Playing my gaming.
with you playing it, I mean, we could live stream and I could be on and whatever. Yeah, so I wanted to ask Nick. Maybe you can comment later on. But I wonder if how many games Nick has played, or if he's beaten any games, if he's had any free time. So I bet he has. He was a pro in that video. I was the noob. Dustin's an expert. Nick was. Well, you were quite expert. Nick was probably the super pro at that game.
Yeah, Nick's better than me at video games for sure.
Yeah, Nick's insane. But do you want me to give him a little nugget of the song for the ages?
Sure, then we can release it this week maybe if we get time.
Yeah, maybe we can release it this week. We planned on
The rough
finishing.
edit.
Yeah, when we were talking in our live stream about the episode number 3 on the wings of Kiradax, we were joking around and said that sounds like a song title, and then Dustin would just start breaking into song, the wings of the. Anyway, so long story short, we kind of like joked about, well, we should do like a parody song of the wings of Kiradax, and for crying out loud, I sat down 1 minute before this whole thing went to craziness, and I put down a little bit of music for it. So anyway, let's play him first 30 seconds. They're gonna hear some singing. Is that all right, Dustin?
30 seconds? Oh wow, going that long?
Well, we can go 15 seconds. Well, we showed them a little bit of it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, did we?
Well, yeah, the one. Just the intro. I literally showed him 3 seconds, but we had planned on finishing this thing, obviously, because we plan on getting together
Yeah.
the next week, and that's when everything went, "Nope, you ain't getting together. You're social distancing." So we got to
Yeah.
finish out. We got to figure out how to do that. By the time we get back together, the whole series might be over with. So
Yeah, but also if people really enjoy this, we've been talking about doing more songs, and if you guys enjoy, I don't know if you will, but if you enjoy the song, then we might try. I don't know, something
he's godel.
small. I'm godling, aren't
You
I?
godel,
Aren't
but
I?
then it catches up.
Godel.
Then you're back.
Am
Yeah.
I there?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but we might. What's our band name again? Joey's.
Joey's. So Nick was, oh my goodness, Nick has the best vocal part in this. And this was all just like rough live, like no edits, just brilliant. All right, let me play it before I stop. Here we go.
Now you can do 30 seconds if you want, whatever you want.
All right, it's playing. I don't know if you can hear it. You can't hear it.
I'm not afraid of anything.
There's Dustin on vocals. Nick.
Just got a problem with gravity. It weighs you down. We're going up high. Why we keep going up high?
All right, I stopped it right at the chorus there. But should I play them a chorus? I don't know. It builds so nicely. Oh.
Oh man, yeah. You can do the chorus. Why not? They've stayed this long.
They've stayed this
we
long.
should probably be
All
done.
right.
But
that part, that high note is what I'm talking about, people. That is money right there. All right, let me play that part again. We'll go into the chorus. We'll give you one chorus. This is Dustin on lead vocals, Nick's on background. I'm doing a little bit of the background while playing the music. So here we go.
Just got a problem with gravity.
These lyrics have to do right with the episode. I'll waste you down.
Going up high. Why we keep going up high? On the wings of a Kyridax, flying robots made to attack. Way up high, way up high. On the wings of a Kyridax, flying robots made to attack. The robot said, why? Leave the subtitles on. We sure did.
Oh, that's comedy gold right there.
it's catchy too. I found myself singing that like a lot later. I was just like, why am I singing this still?
Yeah. I know. I've been
Wow.
whistling it for weeks.
Yep. Yeah, but it's not even finished. I mean, that's just the
No.
rough. We're gonna polish it off, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. Well, you
Add some more lines.
that night you penned a couple of lines of lyric, and I just had this chord progression in my head. I'm like, I could just play it. I got some like little 80s synth going on, kind of ballad, style, and found a little drum loop, threw it in. I'm like, this is kind of working. And then I just kind of had the basic melody of way up high. When you say the word high, you probably should be singing something up high.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, which I was, and my throat was dying
yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, I bet. That's pretty high. I probably should have lowered the key a little bit. But Nick
was
hit that.
pretty-
Ooh. He was up in the rafters. He
One of
nailed
the
it.
funniest things, maybe some bonus content we can release later too.
Yeah.
Is we had the behind the scenes. I think our fact checker
Fact
was
checker.
able to. Our fact checker was able to catch some behind the scenes and
Yeah,
got
of
a
that.
little bit
Well,
of the creating, and we did some auto tuning. It was hilarious.
oh, that's right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I
Yeah.
pitched it up like 16 octaves and pitched
Yeah.
it down and stretched it
Yeah.
out really long. Yeah, it's the fun things you can do. Of course, in the studio, I produce a little bit of music, so that part comes easy, and it's really fun to just
Yeah.
craft and make weird sounds and fun sounds. So I think it's time to use our talents and our abilities to make some funny stuff
Oh,
for
yeah.
these people, as we try to do here on Stay on Target every week. And here we are
Yeah.
at about, what's that?
Hour and a half.
About an hour and a half more. Yeah, about an hour and a half.
Yeah, but everybody, if you guys like that song, let us know if you want us to create. I mean, that's not even the full song. We're gonna release, and even the release isn't gonna be the full song,
Yeah.
we're gonna release more of that song. And if you guys like it, let us know. If you guys want to hear some more musical goodness from Joey's,
From Joey's.
I think that's our name.
because
I gotta remember.
because of the
Nick is on
Jawas
it.
in Mandalorian, we
Yeah.
said, do they speak, what's their language? Joey's? We didn't know what their language
Yeah,
was.
we didn't know.
But we
I
know
think that was-
Mandalorian can speak it.
I mean, Nick was the one who came up with that name, so I
Yeah.
can't remember off the top of my head how he came up with that, but it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
It was one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah, well, because it
But-
was Nick's rap album, his rap name or something
Yeah.
like that is what it was.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to
gonna
pull
release
all
them
that
all.
footage, and we're gonna have to
Oh,
show
yeah.
it. But
we're
hey,
gonna have to watch that back.
but we're documenting this on quarantine lockdown thing. So, hey, we're still here, we're still kicking, and we're gonna fight through this thing day to day, and try and keep you entertained and up to speed on the Stay on Target show. So, if for nothing else,
Yeah.
we're at least video logging our week to week through this crazy time in history, like I always like to say.
Yeah,
And it is a fascinating time in history that has pretty much affected the entire world. Nothing
yeah,
like
this
this since 1918, the Spanish flu. So
yeah,
we're in a
exactly.
a 100, the 100-year floods and things that happen in certain places of the earth. Volcanoes that erupt once in 2 centuries. Here we are with this weird global pandemic thing. Here we are once every 100 years, and the world is so global now that people fly everywhere in 5 seconds, and maybe not 5 seconds, but so quickly, and that's just things spread so quickly. So
Yeah, so our thoughts are with everybody
Yeah.
out there who's been affected by this. We're praying for everybody. We hope everybody's doing good out there, staying healthy, social distancing, keeping your spirits up. That's another
Yeah.
big thing during a time like this. You gotta keep your spirits up. Sometimes
sure.
all you gotta do is put on Star Wars, and that'll lift your spirits.
Yeah.
It does for us in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
keep your spirits up. We'll get through this. It's just a blip in the radar. In a couple of years, we'll look back and be like, "That was crazy," but we made it through. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
Preach it.
Right.
And in the meantime, we'll try and put that song out for you folks to listen to. And I can't guarantee the music video yet, but that'll probably come
Yeah.
down the line. Maybe I can take some footage from our episodes and piece it together with the behind the scenes stuff. So
That would be hilarious. Oh,
that'd
yeah.
be
Or
funny.
like even the episode of from the actual episode. Like,
from that,
clips
yeah,
from it.
yeah, I thought about that. Yeah, on the wings
That
of
would
the
be
Kiradax,
hilarious.
on the wings of Kiradax, and all the lines in the song. That's why I love it. If you watch that episode, it's perfect. There's so
Yeah.
many, everything, including the heights problem in the first verse.
Yeah.
where gravity weighs him down. He's got a problem with gravity. What was his name?
Yeah.
Wrecker.
Oh, Wrecker. Yeah.
Yeah, Wrecker.
I,
doesn't-
and that's why like part of my idea is to like do an album based off of every single episode and take like lines from every single
Yep.
episode and like create a song for each episode and make
We-
that like Clone Wars season 7 album, and then maybe do one for like the Mandalorian or something like that, and just like make it goofy and fun like we were doing.
We could pull it off. So far, this song's about 2 minutes. Maybe if we keep them shorter like that, that'd be easy to do. Because 12 songs back in
Yeah.
the day was a CD. That was an album, basically,
Yeah, exactly.
So we do one for every episode, and maybe we'll get a call from Dave Filoni and John Favreau, and they'll be like,
Right.
"You guys are comedy gold," and we'll be like, "Well, that's Nick."
Yeah.
But we'll just Dustin will write the story and the lyrics, and Dan will make all the audio and the
Yep.
noisy stuff and the lightsaber glow, and we'll just make the triple threat. Staying on.
That's why
target.
we make a good team. Yeah.
That's why we make a good team. So
Yeah.
we,
Otherwise, Star Wars is just gonna release an album in 2 years with all of our ideas that I
they'll
just
just
said.
be like, "You said the word Star
Dang
Wars
it.
in it, therefore it is ours."
Right. I should have said it. Oh
you shouldn't
man.
have
now
said
I
it.
feel like-
No, stop the stream. Stop the stream.
Cut the stream. Cut the infected wire.
the infected wire. All these viruses getting everybody.
Viruses.
Whoop,
Full circle, just like the episode.
I'm pretty sure we just both said full circle at the same time too. So
Well,
chocolate. It's Spanish for whatever.
just, I just wasn't expecting that. Sorry.
Neither was
It's
I.
just- And on
Hey,
that bombshell.
and on that bombshell, all right, I'll give us some music to cue us out. Nick's probably laughing at home, and
Yeah.
I'm wheezing. All
Thanks for
right.
watching, everybody.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, donate if you feel like it. Check us out. If you have any questions, shoot them at us, yo.
Please
We'd love
do.
to talk. Yeah, we'd love to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about too.
Yep. stayontarget.contact@gmail.com is the email. So shoot us an email, give us a question. Thanks for watching tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay on target.
Whoa. That was cool.
You want to give us the line, Dustin?
Oh yeah. Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Loosen up.
They came from behind.
Ah!
See you later.